Hey guys, George Souris from Empire Legal. Now listen up, this nice short one today is super important if you're involved in Queensland property. Postponement to the new Sellers Disclosure Regime and Property Law Act of 2023. So, the Property Law Postponement Regulation of 2024 was passed just a few weeks ago on 16th of August 2024, which officially postpones the automatic commencement of the Property Law Act 2023 until the 3rd of November 2025, next year. The Queensland Law Society is continuing to engage with the Department of Justice and Attorney General on the regulations and prescribed forms to support the Sellers Disclosure Framework, which brings in significant changes to the process of buying and selling property. The upcoming new Sellers Disclosure Framework will change how Queensland real estate agents and property lawyers work. At present, Queensland has no formal sellers disclosure, and the sellers are not required to disclose all information to prospective buyers, except that required under common law or contract. For example, community title schemes require a disclosure statement. I'm sure you've heard or even used this term often, buyer beware. Well, guess what? It's all about to change. The seller will need to provide buyers with a signed seller disclosure statement. The disclosure statement will need to include information and copies of documents like a title search, a registered survey plan, any adjudicator's orders, for example, QCAT for tree and fence. If it's in a community title scheme, body corporate information, certificate, community management statement, and bylaws not included by the CMS. Furthermore, information such as pool safety compliance, QBCC notices, environmental protection notices, and current rates and water documents will need to be provided as part of the new disclosure regime. For those who want to know more, I'll place a link in the blog to our article on the new Sellers Disclosure regime that we published last year. The new Property Law Act is the biggest change to Queensland property law in the last 50 years. Replacing the old Property Law Act of Queensland from 1974. In Queensland, legislation that has not commenced within 1 year after the assent of the Governor automatically commences on the next day. This means that the Property Law Act of 2023 is due to commence on the 3rd of November 24. Because of this new postponement regulation, however, the date is now officially postponed until the 2nd of November next year, 2025. The Queensland Government has officially stated they've been working with key legal, property and body corporate stakeholders in the development of regulation and approved forms that will be required under the Act. And the delay is to ensure there is sufficient time for the necessary education and preparation work to be undertaken by affected legal, financial, property and community title sector participants before the new laws commence. The regulation ensures the Property Law Act does not automatically commence before the regulations and forms are finalised. The Queensland Law Society will update members as further updates are made available about the commencement of the Sellers Disclosure Framework. Of course, once we at Empire Legal know more, we will pass this along to the subscribers of our blog. If you're not subscribed to our blog, the link is in the blog, or you can head to blog.empirelegal.com.au and click the subscribe button. Obviously, guys, this is a huge change for Queensland property. As an industry, we all need training and education to make sure the rollout is smooth. So governing bodies like the REIQ and the Queensland Law Society will of course help guide us as these new laws are closer to going live. For all of us here in 2024, we need not to stress as this rollout has no set date and will be something to be addressed further in 2025. Thanks very much. Ladies and gentlemen, please keep in mind that all advice is general in nature and does not constitute legal advice. This is authorised by George Souris, Empire Legal, Queensland, Australia.